Hi, I thought it might be helpful if we created a video for you on how to work with the flashcard template and kind of what the expectations are. So if you go into your content management system and go to flashcard assignment, you will notice that in there's a rubric here. So let's take a look at that really quickly. So a rubric is to design a set of flashcards for studying the anatomy of type, with each card focusing on a different typographic term. So each card focuses on a different typographic term. Cardstock, Illustrator, and software are the materials that you will need. The cards should be 3 by 5. A minimum of 17 cards should be created. Students need to decide what existing typeface they will be using. These cards should use a system for defining terms that they are using in each card, and I'll explain what that means. In other words, use a consistent color for the definition that is different than black and white. Students decide how to design the area, directionals, dotted lines, circles, squares, stripes, whatever you can think of. And then how are you going to point out the anatomy area that you are discussing in each card? These cards will be printed in the copy center and handed in for a final grade. So here's a little diagram of some of the anatomy. So this H going up high like this is an ascender. The end of the E is a finial. This area where it's rounded here on the M is a shoulder, just like this area that's rounded on the N. That is also a shoulder. The area that goes to an angle in the center is the vertex. This is a bracket that comes out. This is the baseline of your type. This is the cap height and the X height. This would be a stem, and so on. All right, so let's go into Illustrator and take a look. And actually, let's go back quickly and take a look at what else is in here. So here's the templates and examples. So here's your flashcard template. All you have to do is click on it and download it. You need to have Illustrator in order to use it. This is your flashcard example from the template. So I actually have those open right now. So let's take a look. So this is what you'll see when you open up your Illustrator file. Remember that you should stay on Essentials Classic under Workspace. So Window, Workspace, Essentials Classic. In addition, you should have your Layers palette open. So if you go to the right where your palettes are and roll over the one that looks like two crackers on top of each other, you will see there is your Layers palette. We can tear that off by literally dragging it off. You'll notice that I have the top template locked. That's the blue layer. So anything in here is going to read in the blue. You are going to put your artwork on the red template. It needs to be highlighted in order for you to put your artwork in here. Before you hand it in, you're going to go back to the blue template, click on it, and unlock the area, the lock. So the lock is right here. Just click it on, click it off. So we're going to unlock it by clicking it, and we're going to delete all of the words that say cards. This is just a reminder for you of how many you've created. You want to leave this area there. So that should still stay there. Okay, so let's take a look at what I've done, just to kind of give you an idea. So here we have some different ideas of how you could represent this. I used Times New Roman, and here we have the leg of the K. And so what I did was I pulled out some guides. So how do we pull out a guide? Well, let me just go ahead and highlight this one and delete it. Maybe. I'll delete both of those. Okay. And now I'm going to go to the ruler, and we have to make sure rulers is turned on. How do I turn rulers on? We're going to go to View, go to Rulers, and make sure, like if I say hide, this is what it looks like. If I go back to rulers now and say show rulers, there they are. In order to make a guide, you need to click on the ruler, hold your thumb down on your trackpad, and drag it to where you need it to be. So I want all these words to be in the same place on my card. So I'm going to have them approximately this high from my card. So how can I figure that out? Well, this X area here see this right under here? This area where the two rulers meet, I can bring that down to the corner of my card. And now it'll show me that my card is exactly 3 or 5 inches by 3 inches wide. So there's my 3-inch mark, and there's my 5-inch mark. So if I look at my guide, where is it? My guide is 3/4 of an inch from the top. So let's make another guide on the next one. So if I click on this, I can see there's my 5-inch, and I will go to 3/4 inch, and now I know I have this in the right place. If I look for this one, if I put one on here, let's say if I want to put it at the top of the first sentence or underneath the first sentence, I can see that is 1 1/4 inch approximately. So I'm going to go down here now and go from the top of my card. We know this is 3/4, and there's 1 inch and 1 1/4 inch. So this is where the top of my next sentence would be, or the bottom of my next sentence. Okay? And so that's how you can kind of map this out. Now this K, I'm just trying to figure out where the top is. So there, I wanted to move that. I can take this whole thing and bring it down. This is not grouped. So what I did to make this, just to kind of show you, we'll zoom in. So let me zoom into this area. And obviously I could do some work on this, but what I did was I created the K here, and it's grouped right now, so I'm going to ungroup it. So how do I ungroup? I would go to Object, Ungroup. So I have two pieces, right? I have the K, and then I created this extra piece to show where the leg of the K is. Now, you'll notice that I didn't get a really nice rounded area there. So how do I do that? Well, let's zoom in. We're going to grab the direct selection tool. Actually, let's grab the pen tool and go to anchor point. So our anchor point conversion, or Shift C. So now if I pull this, see how I can kind of make that little, like a nice smooth area. Then if I grab my A tool or the direct selection tool, I can start to move these exactly into where I want them. And this too, Shift C, there's my anchor point tool, and I want to just kind of curve it a little bit. So now, let me go back to my A tool. Just going to bring that up a little, just a tiny tad. And I can just use my arrow key. There we go. And now I kind of have what's a reasonable facsimile. And I can keep working on it and get it perfect. If I don't like this color, I can change it. So let's say I want it to be blue. I'd have to have it highlighted. I'll just drag it down. So now it would be blue. So you can see how Command 0, 0, zoom, that's how this would work. Now I put in the crossbar. I'm not sure what a crossbar is, so let's go online really quick and look it up just because. So we'll go to Type Anatomy, see if we can find a crossbar. Not one in here. Let's see where else I have some things. Here we go. Let's find a crossbar. Maybe there isn't. How about if I look it up? I'll say crossbar. So what is it? There it is, crossbar. So instead of image, I'm going to go to all. What is a crossbar in Type Anatomy? Ah, it is this. So I'm just going to go and copy that. Come back into Illustrator. Find my sentence, and I'm going to use my type tool. Click on it. Now I want to make sure that it's still Times New Roman, because that's what I'm using. So I've changed it and hit Command V. And notice how it kind of goes all the way out. That's okay. I'll just hit my returns. Get it all to fit in there. It's kind of long. That's all right. I think I'm going to move move the to the next sentence and bring that up. So I'm just kind of putting in my paragraph returns. And I want to see that this is going to be on that line and centered kind of nicely. I might move my crossbar over to center it with everything else. And there it is. I've designed one of my cards. 1, 2, 3. I took and just made a line from this by using the shape tool. I can click on the shape tool. I can make circles. All you have to do to make a circle is hold your shift key, and there you have a circle. If I want to change this color to something I've already made, I can use the eyedropper. So here's the eyedropper, and notice the fast key for it is the letter I. So if I just hit the letter I on my keyboard, I can immediately change this to whatever color I want, and so on. So that's how you can start to build your cards. I hope you have some fun with them. This is not a really difficult project. When you save them, you're going to file, save as, and you're going to make sure that you put it on your computer. And I'm putting it in where my example is. So I'm just going to override this and replace with that. So now I know that that's in there. And then I'm also going to save one to hand in online. So that I'm going to go save as, save on my computer. And this time I'm going to change it from Adobe Illustrator to Adobe PDF. So the format gets changed to Adobe PDF, hit save, and I'm going to make it smallest file size, which will be fine. And I'm going to hit save, and that's fine. And now it's going to ask me where, and it should have saved it, hopefully, where we were before. So let's take a look, and there it is. If I click on it, it shows me, there it is, and there's my empty areas. All right, cancel. You have to be in the red to place your artwork. The top has to be locked. If I turn this off, you can see this is what I have. This is just my template to show where the cut marks are for my card. All right, I hope this helps a lot, and have a really good rest of the day.